Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's me. How are my levels? Welcome back to another stream. Hi, Victoria. Levels are good? Good, good. Slowly learning about where the green line should go when I'm talking. I still think I'm probably technically too loud. How are you, Victoria? Let me send out my tweeteroonies. I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, I'm feeling better too. Yeah, last week I took it a little easy just because I was just tired from the cold, but I'm over it. Definitely, yeah, back to full speed now. And then I was away for a long weekend anyway. Um, went to I can't know if I talked about it, but Centre Parks, which is like in Europe, it's like a brand of cabins in woods with a load of activities for mainly children. But you can, I went with a group of mates, all in our late 20s, so you can, do badminton and swimming and stuff. Costs an arm and a leg, but I'm still solvent, so it's okay. A lot of captive market stuff because they know. I think they deliberately put these things in the middle of the woods so you can't escape. Go to the supermarket or something if you want anything. Whoa! But you surrender to it somewhat. Oh, let me mute that. Where did that come from? Yeah. Sorry, that was me. Yeah, it was cool. Lots of monk jack, which was cool. I don't think I've ever seen so many monk jack. I was gonna I was gonna look up monk jack. I know we do this maybe too often on the stream. Oh, misspelt. Muntjac. Barking deer. Yeah, we didn't hear them bark. Oh, they didn't look like that. It must be a species. Yeah, they look like this. But they were very. I don't think domesticated is the word. Pacified. I'm not sure. They were very. They've obviously been fed enough by people. I think they are a pest in the UK. I don't think. Or the invasive. Oh, there you go. Exist in the United Kingdom. So, um, wild monkjack escaped from Woburn Abbey. But yeah, I was curious because they're funny things. I guess they're just deer. I guess they're just a type of deer. Uh, what do I usually do? Kingdom, domain, class, order, family. Yeah, just deer. Okay. Because I thought they have these short snouts and they were rummaging around. Because in my head, deer kind of eat leaves on trees, don't they? And yet, uh, these guys were sort of snouting around like a hogwood or something. Um, but yeah, it was crazy seeing so many of them because I know we do have a lot of them in the UK, but We had lots of squirrels. I don't know if they're a pest. We also had a resident rat running around our accommodation, but he didn't get in, fortunately. I was wondering if it's the kind of thing where you would tell them and they'd be like, "Oh, we're so sorry," um, or whether they would be like, "You're in the woods. There's going to be rats." Oh, hi, sparrow. There's a lot of smaller. They're a lot smaller than the other deer species in this country, so they kind of found an empty niche. Ah, okay. So what does being smaller grant them? Um, what is the niche? Because I believe, yeah, they're all over the place in my hometown, but they sneak around and they need less food. Ah, okay, makes sense. But yeah, I didn't see any exciting animals. Didn't see a badger or a rabbit or a hedgehog or anything like that. But the weather was great. I think we finally. Well, I feel weird about it. It feels like winter just came and went. I almost feel like I didn't suffer enough this winter. If that makes any sense. I feel like I usually find winter this kind of grueling, long, expansive time. Um, Maybe it's because like other years it would still be cold right now, uh, and it just feels all of a sudden so sudden. But it is April now, so the larger woodland species roe fallow don't do so well in the woodland when the woodland is cleared for farmland. Although fallow deer are an introduced species too. Fallow deer. Oh, okay, cool antlers. Which I think the deer I was talking about, definitely red deer in the park. Knout spots. But yeah, the funny things with they've got these glands, yeah, which is you have to get up really close to look at their sort of alien looking things. They sort of look like a deer from a distance, but the closer they get, um, they look like something that might be in like a I don't know No Man's Sky planet or something, like a thing that looks vaguely like a human Earth creature, but quickly realize it's just different enough. Yeah, it's a weird one because you kind of go to escape from the woods, but then there's like a teddy bear factory and a Starbucks and a Cafe Rouge and a you're always 5 minutes walk from a mall in the middle of the woods. But it's all about the company. These things, it's all about the company. And I know some people get really nostalgic about Centre Parks. I think it's definitely somewhere you get taken to as a kid. I only ever went to Sandy Balls, which I guess is an analog to. Um, but I don't remember the really. It was never. It wasn't this fancy. Maybe something like this. But yeah, I don't remember there being as many like. I remember it basically just being a cabin in the woods. I don't remember there being like loads to do. Um, Leisure centre, pool, jacuzzi, gym, forest kitchen. Has a different vibe for sure. But again, that was probably when I was, I don't know, 8 or something. But I was saying, I think it has a similar thing with like Disneyland where it feels like, you get taken, as a kid, you kind of get taken out of the real world. And there's this kind of place where loads of stuff is happening and there's these other, other kids. And I can kind of see how that would kind of, stay in your mind. Well, I've accidentally made it look like a little eye in the wood there. Quite like that. Yeah, just working on the workbench again today. We'll see how far we can get it. Yeah, I think I was a bit down on the greenhouse last stream. Not down, but I was sort of like, oh, I still need to work. But given how small it will probably appear, I think it's looking okay. But as before, with this, I'm kind of gonna sort of fill a scene, try and fill a kind of a gardeny scene, and then we'll just import everything into the game. So if there's any kind of garden items you think are missing, like got a couple of tools over here, so we'll kind of fill in the space. I think do I have got the grass here? I'll bring that back once I feel good about the perspective and everything. It's looking great, thank you. I think I definitely do want to get the plants inside. They've got a bit of detailing to go, but I think that's okay otherwise. But yeah, I like a weekend away. I think it's an underrated amount of time, or a long weekend, because it can feel a weekend can feel too short when you've got the Friday and the Monday. But I was fixing bugs Friday morning and doing a little bit yesterday. Should have some bug fixes out tomorrow, I think. But I'm the kind of person that gets a bit, I don't know, I don't really like going away. Makes me antsy. Definitely I'm not sure what the word would be. A dweller. I mean, someone's described holidays as like, designed to make you miss home. But then I feel like usually when I'm on holiday, the sentiment with everyone else around me is, "Oh, I can't believe I have to go back." I mean, I do, obviously enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. But even so, more so with the work, I was, even if it's just a weekend, I feel like it's hard to shake that kind of. I'm missing a day. I'm missing an afternoon. I'm missing a. But everyone's got to take a holiday. Everyone needs a holiday. And I keep meaning to. I've got to probably just because I tend to try and set myself. I think I've always gone under the last couple of years, but the sort of I don't know what's standard in the UK, but usually about 6 weeks holiday. So I try and meet that roughly if I can. But I've always been tempted just taking a day or taking a week off, like just chilling at home. I think I'd enjoy that. I'd get a lot out of that. I don't think I've ever done that, except like, well, probably not since school. When you get half term and you just kind of, even then you kind of meant to. I don't know. There's always an expectation you should be studying or something. Some tests you could be preparing for. always wondered how many. I just felt whenever I was like revising for a test, studying up, I always just felt guilty. I was completely under putting in too few hours. But I do wonder if schools just set insanely high expectations and then just to squeeze some amount of home study out of you. I'm not sure. I wonder what the average looks like. Depends on your job. I mostly got 25 days plus bank holiday. It's 25 days. Quick math. Five. It's like, yeah, five work weeks. My last employer, 20 days. Oh, okay. Was there not like, is there like a legal, is there a legal, something legal? Legal minimum. Okay, legal holiday. Maybe it's really, you're entitled to 5.6 weeks. Ah, okay. Hi there. I love gov.uk. I was on it earlier today, doing tax stuff. I'm a big fan of good font hierarchies. People using their H1s, H2s correctly. Maneuvering around a cat for access to the keyboard. And yeah, I put in the, speaking of keyboards, I've got my new keyboard, which is what I'm fumbling about a bit because I haven't really used it for painting very much. But I went for the split, I got the split keyboard. I'm guessing that's the website, gov.uk, fantastic. Documents are beautifully constructed. I remember I was applying to do a web design project at university, but they could only let some people in. And in the interview, I basically just gushed about how much I love gov.uk, and I think that got me the role because I think it actually is like it's just such a boring. Um, I mean, I'll die on this hill. I think it's not as bad as it used to be, but so many websites used to be like, just feels like everything's really zoomed in, and there's like one huge image that goes across the full width, and there's these like tiny. Um, and I was always campaigning against that kind of design, but I know there's a lot of people who are kind of annoyed because they wanted. It was trendy at the time. Maybe it still is. I'm not sure. But yeah, new keyboard. So I'm hoping because my last one was really like rattly. Well, I don't know. Can you guys hear? I actually do have my old one here. I feel like this is like I didn't realize we'd kind of has that kind of I don't know what you call it really, but I didn't realize um I had my brother came over with his new keyboard, and it was just nothing like that. It had this really like nice sound, and everything everything felt like it wasn't rattling about. So I got the switches and everything and the keys, and it's great. I don't know if this is like just a trendy thing, um, but everything feels, and it should be quieter on stream as well. I don't know if you guys can hear that, maybe when I'm talking. But I did watch back, particularly when I keep mashing M to flip it around. I was aware I was like absolutely slamming it, so hopefully it's a little more listenable now. But I'm sure it wasn't too bad. How are you finding the split keyboard? It's great. It's everything I hoped it would be actually. Because now I feel less inclined to lean forward. I can have it sit back. I can maintain a decent posture. You can move around. You can type. I didn't have any trouble at all with actually. Well, that's a lie, but because they're ortholinear, so the keys aren't exactly where they would be on a normal keyboard. And everyone was like, "Oh, my words per minute went from I don't know, went from 120 to 20 or something." Um, but I think given I was talking about this last stream, I was taught how to touch type as they would do on a typewriter, and I think essentially if that's how you touch type, I found it like it felt like putting my hands in a glove that fit. It was sort of like um, it felt more right than a normal keyboard. I wasn't expecting that. Um, but then the only thing is that I found out that I have certain bad habits, and it really exposes that. Like B, I would use both fingers when you're only meant to use the left hand finger. Um, I used my index finger for C. I'm really struggling with that because you're meant to use the middle finger, so it's much less forgiving um, if if you don't sort of touch type the traditional way. So I'm just slowly ironing out those bad habits, which I don't think they were the worst habits. Um, and it all depends what you're used to. But I really like how I can set the keys to do anything that I want. It's really customizable. You can put any keys in any place and choose where you want space and choose where you want to enter and stuff like that. So you can make it really comfortable to what you're doing. Downside is I already broke the. Well, I don't know if I broke it, but because it's essentially from some Chinese warehouse somewhere where they've soldered it for me, and it has loads of people like get the screen because then you can when you're changing layers, you can clearly see um, what you're doing. But I haven't actually used the screens at all. But in my attempts to, it was working, and then I sort of pushed all the keycaps in securely, and then so one of the screens no longer works. I'm talking with them at the moment, but I guess there's a risk. You're selling a board, a PCB board, and you're telling people to, like, plug stuff into it. I don't know. I think I could be doing anything with it really, so I understand why they might be reluctant to send me a new one or something like that. But hopefully it works out. But I'm a little annoyed because I don't know, it just feels bad when something isn't. And you can get like Bongo Cat. I've seen you can do all kinds of little fun things, or like Mario and the faster you type. You're never looking at your keyboard, so literally it's completely useless fluff. But I wondered if I could do a little cute. I don't know, do a little design myself on a weekend or something as a hobby, something to do. Anyway, so maybe don't do what I did. Um, and it's also kind of like the case is all 3D printed and stuff, so it's a bit tacky, but it's a lot cheaper than doing it all myself and buying a soldering kit and everything. So maybe one day. Um, Thank you, Glenn. It's kind of meant to be two ends. I can't. I can't remember. Someone said they knew someone that was a carpenter or their grandfather. Um, I should add the little holes, shouldn't I, for the tools? I've been watching loads of old. Will I be able to find them again? Old woodworking. I just want to see the legs. I should have paid attention to that. Vintage workbench. Got the C. Forgot to unmute. This one has wheels. Um. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, he said, "Why is doing this?" Oh, this one's got a little cupboard. Hmm. And wheels? No wheels. This one. Hello, matey. Might not see the legs. I updated this. Aha. Oh, sorry, that was me. Updating my browser. Let's get some more shading in while we wait. Um, oh. Okay, I think I'll do the two legs like this with the flat down there. Maybe I'll do a shelf in the middle as well, but maybe that's. Oh, oops. One sec. Okay. Oh, what layer are we on? Oh, lost my layers. Alright, we'll find it later. I'll go for the legs. So I'm thinking. Well, we can move them around. But they're going to be closer together. Than you might anticipate, I think. I was having fun earlier. They were I get like a local community email, and I didn't know this, but they're thinking of putting in a billboard, not a billboard, but like one of those things you see at a bus stop. Like sort of, I guess it rotates through three adverts, sort of glows in the dark. Um, and I feel quite strongly against billboards. It's just a personal thing. But um, I didn't know this. Obviously, I knew you can go in if there's the planning permission and stuff. You can go in and object, but I've never sort of gone through the. I guess it's a gov.uk kind of section of the website for local councils. But I was having fun reading all the objections because I don't know. I don't know like what I would write if I was to object. I don't know how official it needs to be. Don't know if I need to get my formal writing skills down. But some people, one of them ended with "get in the bin" in all full caps. So maybe it doesn't need to be too formal. But then I don't know how these things are weighed up. Like, is it just purely like, do they read these arguments, or do they just see who, um, are they assessing the weight of the arguments, or just how many people do it, or complain about light pollution? I mean, there's this. I think, to be fair, when I read it, I thought it was going to be one of these big billboards. Which, to be fair, there are a few around me, and I think there's already campaigns to get rid of them. But yeah, light pollution, awful for moths and bats. That's a good point. Um, it's like replacing a park bench. I don't know. The whole thing is like, but I've only really looked into this before. Um, this is like the first time, so I don't know how. Maybe I'll follow it, just out of curiosity. then maybe I'll feel guilty. Maybe my objection would have been the one, you know? They'd have been like, oh, 43 objections. Maybe if there was a 44th from a young lad, a young, articulate lad who felt strongly about billboards. But yeah, it's this funny thing with billboards where they're put where cars are, obviously. But then it's a really busy junction with funny lights, so it's like it could genuinely be dangerous. Like I'm not usually, um, I know some people can be funny about these things, but I think it genuinely would be quite dangerous. Um, so I don't know if this is just these companies just again. I have no idea how many of these things go through. If the companies just try it on, but wondering like. Surely the council must get something back, right? I genuinely don't know anything about billboards, but the company can't just be like, we want to put something there and then profit off it, right? The community must benefit. It can't just be BT like, I'm going to put an advertisement here and make a lot of money. You guys can, I don't know, you guys just going to have to like it. But yeah, there was something really spooky during COVID. Because we got these big billboards as I kind of come into my neighborhood, and they change every couple of weeks, I suppose. To some, it's usually some Netflix show or something. They'll be like The Bear or something. But they didn't change at all over COVID. I can't. It was some John Goodman show where he was a evangelic. I don't know, evangelical or something. But it just sat there for years and just like got sun bleached and just slowly deteriorated. And it just sort of, I don't know, just walking past that every day, there was something kind of sort of dystopian in the way it was kind of breaking down, but then kind of utopian in the way that like I don't know, these advertisements were crumbling. So, the elements were winning. But I found a little secluded. Not that's not that secluded, but I found a little like I can get to my supermarket rummaging through the woods. It's actually quicker, so I go that route now. Hardly ever see the billboards. Just a bit dark in the winter times. Speaking of British summertime, I don't know how people feel about it. Suddenly occurred to me the stream would be, I think, an hour earlier for most people. But boy, is it light outside. Boy, is it light. And it'll be light for a while. Can't spell. Sunset, 7:30. So maybe I'll be fully illuminated for your enjoyment the entire stream. Thanks to the Earth's axis. The positive pole of a planet is defined by the right-hand rule. If the fingers of the right hand are curled in the direction of the rotation, then the thumb points to the positive pole. When COVID hit, they were doing promo for Frozen 2. It reminded me of the Last of Us game. You're walking around a deserted city. Yeah, it was exactly like that. Yeah, just like these unchanging like I don't know if this was in Fallout, but like the idea of like these old advertisements for a time. Yeah, it was this like sort of a time before you could kind of feel there was something I feel as well like the fact it was this poster for the show. I think nobody cared about. Like it was just um like one show of many, um and it just sort of harked back to this time where we sort of everything felt like it was one thing after another, and then suddenly it wasn't that. It was like everyone's got to stop. Um, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Just made me feel a certain way every time I walk past. Last of Us is on soon, isn't it? New one? April? When you do this with Google, it slowly adds more, right? Yeah, I always want. Well, I didn't always want. I just never really looked. Um, what am I asking? When is it? Um, Ep 1B 13th Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. The number of people I've spoken to about The Last of Us who have seen it and find out I haven't played the games, and they're like absolutely enthralled by what I might um my opinion on it. It just kept happening. But yeah, I've not played. Well, I didn't play either of them. Obviously, I know the plot now. Um, but I'm curious. I know what like I know there was a lot of controversy about the second one. For I guess there were two main controversies, weren't there? So be curious. I'm guessing one of them is definitely going to rear its head. But I don't. I'm curious just what the story does. I don't know anything about it. Um, but I feel like I've got an understanding at least. I don't know whether it was a all publicity is good publicity type thing. Or would you see the legs? I feel like I want to at least suggest the other legs, even if it might not be completely accurate. How are we doing on time? What I did want to add those cute little holes. Love the first one. One of the best games I've ever played. Even though you know the plot, you should play it. Yeah, a lot of people have told me that it offers a different experience. Yeah, I just never owned a PlayStation. Um, but I think I'm also really bad at shooters. But I'm sure it won't matter. Maybe I'll put it on an easy difficulty. Um, oh, Vay's message didn't come through. Going to give the cat some attention. She's been very good. Glad to have some ability to drop in. Oh, thank you, Vay. I'm sorry your message didn't come through. Maybe I should check the chat more often, just in or the actual chat, just in case. I wonder why that doesn't sync up sometimes. You guys can see that right in the stream. A different vibe not being able to find the supplies. It's the core gameplay loop. I mean, I've always enjoyed. I usually enjoy games, very story driven games. So I think I would enjoy it. games where it kind of doesn't like The Walking Dead. I guess I really enjoyed that. The season one. God, that was years ago now, wasn't it? When was that? It's what 2011. I've totally forgotten. Telltale. 2012. I remember this. I always kind of wanted to make games, but I remember playing this and then it like won. Did it win a BAFTA or something? And then that made me feel like, oh, games are like games. Games are going somewhere, you know. I really had that. I remember having this feeling of like games is what I really want to do. Not so much necessarily just playing the game, but I think the the positioning of the game in culture and the response to it, and sort of mixed with the feeling I had playing it. Maybe because it was one of these games where you don't have to be so good at playing the game. You know, it was more about using that experience. You know, I've always when I made my first game, it was just like you just drew a world and then you drew a character and you animated it, and then I like finally the very first bit of programming I did where you just like click when you click somewhere the character moves to it. But I just remember doing that and like just having this just that simple thing of like I'm telling this character where to go. I think you just get so much, yeah, a bit like what you're saying with The Last of Us. Like it's just a different experience that nothing else can give you. Kind of no matter what it's about. Ooh, slowly getting used to where my zoom in and zoom out is. Oh, I haven't put on any music. I'll just let the birds go. Now I play The Last of Us. Did they do it on Steam? It was part of the TV show, wasn't it? They. Or am I making that up? Oh, they did. That'll do. We're back. Stream died. Guys, blink twice. I was having problems. I'm going to do the wave test. Wait for me to wave. Okay. I was having troubles with Restream earlier. It wouldn't let me stream. So, I didn't disconnect from the Wi-Fi or anything. Just Restream kicked me out. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Um, Maybe that's why Bay's message didn't pop up as well. But then I went on their site and it said all operations normal. So I'm not sure. Oh, I've got my view count is actually tallying now. It used to just say it was just saying 0 earlier, so I just assumed you guys were watching. Let's get some music going. Actually, it might be time for a break. Oh, in fact, it probably is because I think that probably reset my ad thing. Um, okay, sorry about that, guys. I will just run an ad now and go grab a drink. So feel free to mute. Feel free to grab a drink, stretch your legs, do whatever. I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. Oh, not starting soon. Are we still live? I think so. Fingers crossed. Oh, not that. Right, back to holes in a wooden table. So there's a chap on Mastodon asking me if you can do 3D increaser, which is a compliment. Shall I do three? Keep forgetting which way it goes. Oh, it's just 3 holes there. Maybe I've overdone the holes. Maybe I'll space them out a little more. I was looking at The Last of Us on Steam, sorry, before. I was just remembering it is available to buy. £50 though, probably not. I don't know what it goes down to. Steam TB The Walking. Oh, not The Walking Dead. The Last of Us. 24. Yes, that's the trouble. I think the TV show made it more popular. Yeah, it costs a lot for a game that age, really, doesn't it? But I think my brother has. He picked up an old second-hand PlayStation during COVID, I think, and played it. Depending on how much I want to faff about with an original PlayStation 3. Oh, I was going to do music. Although I have played the birds for an hour now, without realising. The birds were cut short last time, so. It's remastered now. I think, to be fair, I think the £50 game is the remaster as well. But I have no PlayStation. Yeah, I'm sure you can play it on PlayStation 5. Bye bye, birds. Play around with the volume as it comes in. I really want to get a little bit of shading. Oh, is this my... Where did I put this layer here? Did I draw it straight on? I think I did. Oops. Oh no. What did I do? What did I do? This is shading. Okay, that'll do. Might be able to get a little louder with the music. I've had that a few times though. People asking me if the game is in 3D, but I don't think. I think it's funny because I don't think the perspective is that well done. It's kind of one of those, you know, if you look at it with your eyes crossed, it kind of looks okay. Just don't look at it for too long. Where have I done that? I guess it's sort of like this. Yeah. Bring that forward a bit. I think that's definitely something that I think like layering shadow is like something I can tell I didn't used to do on my old drawings. I think it's something that also helps the 3D look. I think I was talking about the other day that the spatial ambient occlusion, no, not ambient, or is it? I can't remember. SSA or whatever in games, like doing that with your drawings, where you sort of gradually bring the darker um, the darker tones closer to where the edges meet. Because I think like there, you add a slightly darker shade, and then you sort of start to see areas you could make darker. Um, I used to just pick one color that would be the shade color, and then go from there. Um, oh, keep getting my zooms mixed up. Yeah, I don't know how clear this is, or how much it matters even. These should be grouped. Do I have? I was slowly learning. When I got this keyboard, I was like, I never used right shift. But I'm learning. I did use right shift sometimes. There we go. That's okay. I was like, do I ever use right alt, right control, right shift? Sort of thinking there's all these buttons you never use, but everything has a purpose. Split keyboard as well. If you're like eating a sandwich, can't type as easy. You kind of reach in, reach in between keys. You know, if one hand is occupied by sandwich, we've all been there. So yeah, like here, like I've added the dark to these areas over here, but now this area that there's a greater contrast now elsewhere, and so this area feels lacking contrast, I guess. But then again, the two edges meet. Ooh, they meet here, and so we bring the shading there. I think as well, something I always told myself is every time you shade something, it should feel every application of shading should influence the shape of the object. It should say something about the shape of the object. And so, for instance, here you want the shading to settle into the wood grain like that. That's okay. It's not too bad. And again, now we're having the trouble where this area doesn't feel there's enough contrast. So you enter a bit of an arms race, but might be okay for now. I'll just keep it going. Might add a few more imperfections. I feel like I want a metal element. I'm not too sure what I would do, but I feel like I know I kind of deliberately made this a wooden mechanism, but just to break up the brown, I guess. Would there be? I mean, this is all metal. I feel like we saw one that was all, yeah, like this is this wood? He's got a fantastic beard. Oh, he's got a little, maybe do that with tools. That's a nice idea, actually, having some tools, yeah, already in there. I hadn't thought of that. I think that's a wooden crank. Is it a crank? I don't know what you call it. And a wooden screw. Again, I don't know if that's a screw. I'm sure that's wood. I think that's wood. That knock. Hard as wood. It's called morso in Spanish. Same word? I wasn't expecting that. Ah, clamp. No, but yeah, I meant the is it the same word? No, I meant the physical thing that you grab. Same word. Very cool. I wonder how that happened. I guess it's a crank. I don't know why I feel like it's not a crank. Feels wrong somehow. Not sure why. Right, now I can add some shading to... I was listening to the podcast Heavyweight, which I've been listening to on runs, and there's a bit where they're translating these old lost love letters from Spanish, and the woman describes the man as gorbo, I think, which means fat. But apparently that can be a term of endearment. Like my little chubby bunny or something. Gordo, sorry, not Gordo. Gordo. I mean, it must be a... Whoa. Gordo's alive. I'm not sure I know the reference. It's a boar. Ah. O'Brien Bassett. I never watched Flash Gordon. Is it like actually? Is it worth watching? I didn't know it was Brian Blessed. Oh, it's still doing that white thing. Is that him there? I can just hear him saying that as well. Getting sidetracked. Not that we ever do that. We use a lot of adjectives to call people. Might come across as rude to some people, but we say it with love. Yeah, I think that was it was just funny. The guy's reaction, like, it was like they presented it, at least in the podcast, like it was the first word they translated. And the presenter was just like shocked. Oh, did I do the... Oh, it's a different... Oh, I didn't... Will it remember? No. It's a shame. But yeah, I felt weird about it, because they found a... The whole episode is about... They find this suitcase full of love letters from this woman. So the suitcase, I guess, is the man's, and then he leaves it out by a skip or something. But then someone picks it up, and they've just had it this whole time. And then they do a bit of investigative journalism to figure out who it is. And they track them all down and everything. And if you want to know what the story is and everything, you listen to it. But they track down the woman and they ask her, like, what do you want done with it? And then she's like, or they ask her if she wants it, and she's like, no. I was a different person then, and I've moved on and everything. I feel like I would have. I don't know. I just feel, and then she's like, you should throw it away. And then they kind of, as a kind of a poetic thing, they leave it back on the sidewalk, I guess. But then I feel like it just feels like a wild invasion of privacy. I don't know. I feel like you should like throw it away or something, burn it. I'm not sure, incinerate it. It just didn't feel like if someone was like, "Oh, I found all your old love letters. What do you want me to do with them?" And I was like, "Oh, get rid of those. I don't want anything to do with those." If they were like, "Oh, cool, I've put them in exactly the same precarious position that I found them in," for the poetry of it, I don't know. I'd be livid, but maybe I misjudged it. I'm not sure how I'd feel at all. Someone reaching out 30 years later, asking me about my letters. Well, exactly, yeah. Would they just do exactly the same thing? I mean, I guess they lucked out that it was found by someone in touch. I think, the podcast, I think, puts out requests for people to talk about things. Oh, I've done a really... The crank is looking unloved. But yeah. But yeah, I got the sense both parties of the love letters didn't want to revisit it all. But yeah, I think they made a good point that, like, the dude, like, if you really wanted to get rid of them, maybe you would, like, the theory is that he wanted to get rid of them, but he couldn't quite leave that part of his life behind, so he left it in such a way, hoping it would be found, which, you know, is possible. Right. I'm liking just the big stumpy feet, actually. I'm not sure I'm going to finish it off with... I might just be fine like that. Maybe. Because, yeah, the options are... Options are... Ooh, can't see that. Put it down here. Obviously that's the wrong colour, but... Which I feel like adds too much height to it. I like that it's kind of stumpy. And the other option is to add like a connector like here. But then I think that kind of complicates the shape. Maybe I like that actually. Maybe it just adds enough tangential. It's so subtle. Second option looks better, I agree. I'm just wondering if I need it at all. If I find the right colour for it, that will help. It's more... It's so subtle. Don't know if it's necessary. I'm gonna leave it. I think it complicates the shape. Okay. Right. Workbench. Workbench. Crank needs work. Legs need a little bit of work. Add some tools. Oh, didn't mean to open that. I'm wondering if I should bring up the legs. Anyway. I do have to remember where I put control on this keyboard. There. But then you lose. I feel like you want to see the back legs. Okay, I think that looks fine. Yeah, slight lack of contrast here, maybe. Let's do the crank. Unless I do like a full... Maybe let's go metal with the crank. I think that would be... Add a bit of contrast. Maybe I'll do like a brass crank or something. Oh, I was going to open the stream. I'll do it now. Guys, I'm deleting the garden path from Steam. April Fools. Yeah, we haven't done April Fools in a while. I totally forgot. that it was coming up. We had a couple good ones. We had a couple good runs, but it was Alex really that that pushed for April Fools. I think it's you need someone on the team thinking about it. It does feel like less of a thing these days. Didn't Google announce they were gonna stop it because it was getting too many support tickets or something? A prankster is always needed. I think we've got a prankster. I think maybe just April Fools is just a combination of things, I suppose. I feel like Google had some good ones. Back in the day. List of Google's April Fools. Oh, and Reddit used to do. Have they done anything this year? Oh, that was so fun when they did that chat room. What was it called? Robin. God, I spent so many hours doing that. Where you would gradually you'd get put in a one-on-one conversation with someone, and then after 7 minutes, I think you could vote on whether or not you wanted to double the size of the group. Yes, that's right. Or you could vote to stay, and you would get your own little group chat. And actually, I think I did eventually get a tight knit group of people, but it kind of fell apart after a month or two, unfortunately. Field. What's our field? Grid of black tiles and coloured squares. Users were separated into 4 teams. Flamingo, all of which each user could claim tiles on a large. So it's a bit like place. Oh, sorry, that's me emails. Google. I don't remember any of those. Oh, these are very niche. I remember there being like Google Gnome or something. Am I making this up? Google Cow. There's so many. This isn't quite the nostalgic trip I was expecting it to be. What did they last do? Ah, it's just all kinds of little things. Oh, where did it go? I think well, I did a couple back when it was just me. One of the first ones we did was like RTX on for the garden path. I made like I did this like semi-realistic. Was it ray tracing? Semi-realistic frog that I swapped in for Tabble. That was kind of funny, I guess. And then Alex designed a character and we put them in the game. They're still in the game files actually. I forgot what they're called. For ages it was like in a certain place. Ignore this red text. What he was called. I'm not gonna. There's a million .pngs. Oh, I feel bad now. Definitely still in the game files. But yeah, he used to just be in the world somewhere. And God, it would scare the life out of me when I saw him. It took me ages to just actually get rid of him from the game. He's not there anymore. Surprised how many people have done little investigations into the game files for the wiki. You murdered him? Oh, it's F something. Frederick? I can't believe I've forgotten this. He looks like he's going to murder you. That's kind of a... Um, how many FR files are there? No. It's been too long. It's been too long. Remember Guild Wars 2 doing, like, they were going to add the commando class or something to the game. So, yeah, it was a fantasy game and they were going to add some soldier, you know, Call of Duty soldier with a gun or something running around. I've always thought that would be kind of fun. Something like that. The trouble is, you've always got to do it just believable enough, haven't you? Tis an art. Yeah, I know there's a million reasons. Not to do it. Frederick Francis. I should begin with an F. Oh, Frederick! Here he is. Just assume. Ignore this. There he is. So he was just like, especially in the night, oh my god, his eyes were just like, he stood behind a tree. I'm like, what is that? And then I remembered. I still want to know. I've always wondered, Alex wouldn't. I don't know if he was traced over or something, but I've always found it funny that this ear has texture. I don't know why that is. And this one doesn't. Anyway, let's delete him before he appears on every community board UI element. Okay. Godspeed, Frederick. He'll always be in the game files. It's worth the 50 KB. Or whatever he might be. I wonder if I was in a game how many kilobytes I would take up. Thank you, Glenn. Do fun shiny things with metal as well. Fun shiny shading. Anyone got a favourite metal? Favourite inert material? Is metal inert? Is some metal inert? I don't know what inert means actually. Is metal inert? That's like a gas thing? I'm in way too deep. I like stainless steel. I'm fully down with stainless steel. Great metal. I wish everything I owned was stainless steel. Stainless steel pots, pans, cutlery, armchair, underwear. Could all be stainless steel and then none of it would erode. Very few. Very resistant to stains, as the name suggests. Not not everything's perfect. You can stainless steel can have its moments, but we're supportive. Get a bit of barkeeper's friend on it. It's good as new. Rachel bought a brand new t-shirt she was really excited about, and I warned her that my towel bled colour in the wash. So we washed them separately, but then put them in. I should have said something, and then so I feel bad. Put them in for a spin, and it bled all over the shirt. So I'm currently on a mission to remove dye stains from this shirt, because I don't know. I really enjoyed the challenge of removing a stain, if such a thing is possible. But my theory is, if it left the towel, it'll leave the shirt. I don't know if there's any logic to that, but it feels right to me. But then the towel is blue and the shirt is white, so... But I bought this stuff that you put in a saucepan and you basically boil the shirt, so I'm going to try that. See how it goes, but it's not arrived yet. And the stain is setting every second, every minute. I can sense the stain setting in. The shirt was white, yeah. With a design on the front, so I'm going to have to try and avoid... I'm going to have to try and avoid removing the design, which I feel like I probably won't do. Hoping it's more colour fast than the leak dye. I don't know, this could all be in vain. But the least I can do is try. But I generally don't have any trouble with anything leaking colour-wise. I feel like it's something your parents always warn you about, but I don't know if stuff, detergent's better, washing machines are better, colour fastening dyes are better. We all wash at lower temps, probably helps. But yeah, I haven't done darks and whites in a long time. Every time I buy something new, I check. I'll hand wash it just to see if it leaks out. Jeans are an exception. They're always leaking indigo. For the most part, stuff's pretty colour fast. I'm sure everything's kind of, it's a big party of colours. Just at very low, I'm sure everything's kind of leaking one way or another. Your whites don't stay white. They're picking up something from somewhere. Bank's looking okay. Should I think I should do a metal corkscrew thing. I think, just for the sake of, I know I don't have to, I don't think, but I think the contrast would look good. I use Vanish for keeping the white garments white. Yeah, Vanish, I have a special, once a year or something, I'll do blitz things with Vanish. But I generally buy things in Off-White anyway, so... That's better, I think. I'll do like a... kind of a plating around it, maybe. That looks horrible. Don't know how low does the table go? Is that it ending about there? What is it that would make this not center to the height of the table? I'm not sure. Maybe it's okay. Ah, no shift. Slowly learning. That's probably okay. Not quite the right shape. Still not quite the right shape. But let's do the shading on the... I don't know whether I want to make it kind of corkscrewy or not. Whether it's... Oh, maybe. I quite like that, actually. Yeah. That's good, actually. But maybe I'll... Let's do the screws first. The spirally shape, and then I'll cut into it. Yeah, I remember it was Rachel's birthday and she got a brand new, it was this really nice like linen shirt. Not white, it was kind of made of like recycled linen, so it had all this kind of speckledy stuff. And we went and got a curry and she got tikka masala all over it. And I remember spending the afternoon like, I think I read somewhere that you can use like soap and cold water, and did eventually get it. Like a bar soap. But I think the whole thing was like you had to. I guess it was with the oily. I guess it's oily tomato. The whole thing was like you want the stains to fall out of the shirt, right? It has to go. It was all very directional, which I hadn't considered really. But yeah, most things online tell you basically try vinegar, and if that doesn't work, try bicarbonate of soda. Because I guess semi-good advice, like maybe try an acid, doesn't work, maybe try a base. I feel like almost everything, that's the advice. Surely we know by now what an acid is good for and what a base is good for, but apparently not. Yeah, I'm liking that. Bit of visual interest. Is that what it would do? Maybe it's okay. I think it, as long as it suggests a corkscrew, it doesn't need to be too accurate. I can go in and just set the indentations. I might do a general shading like that. Some highlights. Maybe I'll do a highlight layer. Close enough. Might be a little dark, but I probably won't start anything new. Oh, I was gonna just cut into these. Man, I've got about 10 minutes, about 10 minutes. I gotta decide what I'm gonna eat for dinner. We're in that typical thing where you go on holiday and you come back and you've got absolutely nothing in the house. But there's so many things you've got to catch up with that you haven't had time to buy any food in. Which probably means... Well, I had tuna for lunch. I don't know if I can have sardines for dinner, but... I think I'm slowly perfecting it, but I was trying to figure out the perfect... Because, like, a tin of sardines is like 50p. And I've been trying to figure out, like, the perfect way to... You know, without much money and without too much complication. And I haven't perfected it yet, but my plan is to basically you do a bruschetta type thing where you rub the bread with garlic, grill it. Oh, sorry, you grill it, then rub it with garlic, then cold tomato, and then the sardines. But the trouble is, the tomato makes the bread soggy. There's always way too much. It's all falling off. It's sort of not quite as elegant as it sounds. So I'm trying to figure that one out. I'm not sure if I just need to grill the bread until it's like at a low heat until it's completely husked out. I'm not sure. But I haven't perfected it just yet. It also doesn't taste of much. Yeah, I'm not sure what else you do with a tin of sardines. I used to put it in pasta, but... Okay, let's add the shadow. I'm wondering if I need to go back. I think the shadow looks so good, and a lot of the props don't have it in the garden path, the older ones. I'm wondering if I need to go back and retrospectively add a bunch. Maybe something like that. Don't want to make the table look too like it's full of holes. Got our workbench, got our rake, our broom, greenhouse. I think I could add just a little more shade. Oh, getting used to my keyboard. Right, a little more shade to the legs. Not that much shade. Get some on these lower legs as well. I guess technically it would be higher up, so it doesn't matter too much. I really just want a little. I should do some highlights as well, but it's okay. Just want to darken these shading a little bit, touch more contrast. But yeah, tomorrow I'm hoping to get the bug fix out, and then hopefully I'll start working on getting that over on Switch, if you're a Switch player. So I'll have a little patch coming out soon, I think is the plan. That's what I'll be doing this week. Or I do just, maybe I'll come back to it, but I think this just needs a little bit more saturation when I find the time. Nothing too exciting otherwise. But thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, hopefully Thursday I may or may not be streaming. I'm not sure yet, so keep an eye out. But same time, now that we're in British summertime, so I don't know when the rest of the world, have they already done it, or are they about to do it? Oh, I'm not sure. But yeah, same time as today, I believe. If you're watching and you're not following and you fancy a follow, feel free. But no, thank you for joining me doing what I normally do. give or take. Although I'm saving all the artwork stuff for the stream, so we'll start back here. Have a think what you might want me to draw. I'll have a think too and get back to you guys, and we'll fill out the scene further. Yeah, I think we got the workbench from Pinterest, I believe. So maybe I'll do better at that next time. Thanks, Victoria. Yeah, no, I think this has got to be one of my favorites actually. I think the workbench is one of my favorite items I've done so far. I think it's really turned out well. Okay, have a good morning, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you might be. Stay fresh, stay clean, stay cool, stay kind. Thanks again, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you, if not Thursday, then next week. Fingers crossed. All right, take care, guys.